Last time on the Slowburban Project, Lou measured for the push rods. Well, they're in, and they're going in the motor this episode right here on Garage Insider TV. That's next with Lou.
All right, so the push rods came in. Unfreaking believable. It's amazing what happens when you just make a phone call and purchase something and ask some questions. I asked the guy, hey, you know, that adjustable push rod you guys make so you could measure the push rod length? He goes, yeah. I go, I had to make one of those. You guys make more than one of them? He goes, well, yeah, Lou. We make them in 1-inch increments from 5.8 inches all the way up to 12.5 inches. So, yeah, I didn't know that. I turned to making my own, which you can do. Don't get me wrong. It works because, the measurement I gave him was good. But it's kind of useless when you can just buy them and you could get a whole set, kind of like this one that they sell, and not have to cut them up and not have to go through the headaches of making your own. So that's where we are. So the next step for the Slowburban head is I'm going to put on the guide plates, put on the rocker arm studs, put in the push rods. So let's go. Hey, you guys, in keeping with answering your questions, I was talking to Lee, the Monday Morning Racer, and we've come up with this, it's not new, it's not revolutionary, but we would like you guys to email us your projects. Tell us what you're working on. Let's see what's going on out there because it's important. And if there's any help you need, I can offer it. I'll gladly answer it. Who knows? Maybe I'll show up one day and do something at your house with you. I don't know. We'll see what's going on. And this is a future project we have. It's a little thing that I got to get working on. It's just going to have a front end put under it and a 4-bar in the back. Nothing crazy, but yeah. This is where we're at. So email your projects, and let's see what you're working on.
Be sure to email Lou at garageinsider@gmail.com. Include year, make, model of your car, also what you've done and what you plan to do in your project, and you might be mentioned right here on Garage Insider TV with Lou Santiago.
Just so you guys know, the torque on these is 55 foot-pounds. So I'm going to do 45 and then 55. It's just how I'm going to do it. You don't have to, but I like to do it in stages. It's just what I got used to doing. All right, so this is how I do my valve lash. And I'm sure there's 100 different ways to do it. This is the way I do it. It works for me. It may not be the way you do it, so bear with me. And if you do have a better way to do it, please feel free to send an email to garageinsidertv@gmail.com or leave a comment. There's no sense in giving it a thumbs down if you're not going to help me make this better, because the whole point is to make it better so everybody learns. Remember that. So I like to get the lash out of it, right? And that's actually pretty good. I could probably go a little bit tighter. All right? And then you take the poly lock, run it down so it just touches. Put the wrench on it. Did I grab? Oh, I grabbed the wrong one. Hold on. Sorry, I grabbed the wrong one. All right, I'm back with the right one. And then just lock it down. Now, you can go through the firing order, which, I do sometimes. But being that I've got no intake manifold on it, I can look at them and see which lifters are all the way down in the bore. I'm going to do those, and I'll mark them, and then I'll rotate the engine, one revolution, and get the rest of them. And I should get them all done in no time at all. So you guys, let's go talk about intake. And when you come back, this will be done. Let's go. All right, you guys, I said you got to be cool when you're driving down the road. I think I went to a new extreme. I called up the guys at Cold Case and said, this is what I'm doing. I got this Slowburban. I'm going to be driving it anywhere. Who knows? I could be in the Mojave at high noon, and I want to make sure that baby runs cool. And they said, we got the perfect project. We got the perfect radiator for you. It's right here. 2 flue, aluminum, fits in the stock location. This thing's huge, man. I was not expecting this, because a radiator, when it's aluminum, is more efficient than the old school brass ones. So this baby's going to be cold as ice and twice as nice. I can't wait to put it in. Thing is so cool. It's even got a tranny cooler in it, so that's all right. It's got the pet guy. Dude, it's awesome. Ooh, something's not right. I'm going to have to get some insight on this. It just doesn't look right. Oh, I know what it is. We're going to talk about it. Let's go over here. So the next step that I'm going to do on the Slowburban is the intake system. What I did was I picked a trick flow dual plane manifold. And the reason why it's a dual plane is right here. What that does is it keeps the parts of the engine separate, the intake system separate, so you have more low-end torque. This manifold's good to about 6,000, 6,500 RPM, and it's perfect for what I'm doing. It really is. And the reason why I say that is because this thing's going to run down the highways with the AC on. It may on a good day see the high side of 4,000 RPM. It's not designed to be running down the road. The other thing that's cool about this is an air gap manifold. And the reason why it's an air gap manifold, when these are designed now, they actually make it where the air can go underneath, and it helps cool the charge. If back in the day, when aluminum manifolds were coming out, all this was one big piece. And they had a problem with vapor locking. And when you get vapor lock situations, the gas burns in the intake or in the carburetor before it gets into the engine to fire. So what's happening is it's heating it. And they figured out on some manifolds it was actually better to cast it like this so it cools the charge a little bit. This is a max EFI setup from Summit. It's their label. It's what they're running. And I liked it because it fits what I'm doing, under 500 horse. That's it. I don't need nothing crazy. So it's a throttle body style, or as I'm going to call it, a faux carb. A faux carb. Oh yes, I'm running a faux carb now. This is the faux carb that I like. And the reason why I like it, it looks like a carburetor. Once you put the air cleaner on it with a drop base, you're pretty much good to go. It just looks like a regular old carburetor or a throttle body injection, and you're happening. It comes with all the wiring that you need. It comes with the little programmer. It even comes with the doohickey to hold the programmer. So you're in, it's minor work. You have an O2 sensor you have to weld in, a water temperature that you got to put in, and it's really self-explanatory. But we do have instructions, and you're going to see that when we install it next.
Thank you for watching this episode of Garage Insider TV with Lou Santiago. Next time, he tackles your questions right here inside the garage. Until next time, be sure to like this video, share the news where Lou can be found. Stay inside the garage.